we put some watermelon out for the chickens, but somebody else found it. Lily, what is on your head? Lily, are you gonna steal all of the watermelon? You chickens, you better hurry up. You're not gonna get any. Big girl will steal all of it. Lily, you share. Hi, you guys. It is currently Wednesday. I have a market in 2 days that I think I'm mostly prepared for. I'm not expecting it to be a big market by any means, but I'm still kind of running around like a chicken with my head cut off because I'm pattern testing and just doing things. Things are happening. Okay, first thing in this video is going to be showing you what fall patterns I'm going to be having at my next market, which is in 2 days. Did I already say that? I don't know. I've stopped and started filming a number of times. Two of these you've already seen, so I'm not going to talk that long about them, other than to say that they were a part of a collab that I did with a couple other crocheters to give you guys 5 days of 5 free patterns. You guys have already seen and know my little witchy toads. I've made 3 of them. This was my contribution. This was day 1 of the free patterns, and I haven't made any more than just these 3 to have at my market. Something that I've noticed from last year is that I tend to not like to have an abundance of seasonal crochet patterns, because if they don't sell at your market, then you're stuck with them. Like, no one's going to want to buy a witchy toad when it's not Halloween. And so you have to then hold on to them for a whole year before you can take them to a market again. But I do want to show you the free patterns that we came out with for our collab. So after my toads, the next day's maker was Scarlet Garden Crochet, and hers was day 2. She came out with a ghost kitty pattern. Now, I will say for this pattern, I heavily modified just so that it would be kind of the same size and shape as some other things in my seasonal group. Okay, so here is my version of her pattern. I made mine smaller than hers, so my ears, for instance, she has you crochet them in the round and then pinch them together and sew them on. Since mine is smaller, I just surface crocheted on the ears. I have a tutorial on how to make these little surface crocheted pointed ears in my shorts videos. If you go to my shorts, I have a tutorial for how to do surface crochet pointed ears. So I did that for the ears on this guy. And then I also cut lots of the rows off this. So it's 1 row shorter for the head, and then it's like 3 at least rows shorter for the little flared out sheet portion of this. So I came in to the unworked back loops when this starts flaring out. I came into the unworked back loops and I added the bottom of the cat with bobble stitches for the feet, and I crocheted in the tail. Her pattern calls for a wire, like you can make this long tail and curve it. It's like my favorite part of the pattern, but I did not have any wire. So I just did like a standard 6 stitches around tail that I crocheted in and then tacked up to the body. And then I also tacked this little flowing sheet part down, like in between each of my legs and between the legs and the tail, just so that it would kind of have more of a defined shape to it. So this is a heavy modifications on her pattern. So if you want to see her pattern, I will have all of the patterns that I talk about linked below, and you can go see the original, but this was just my mod to make it look like my other makes. So anyway, Ghost Kitty. By the way, this is the first time I'm using these new offset pupil eyes that I just ordered off Amazon. I thought I was going to die trying to click the backs onto these, but I did it. They're on there, you guys. They're on there and they're not coming off. And then I also, for the first time ever, added the like eyelash detail to the safety eyes. And so I just kind of came in and out the stitches around it and used glue to kind of secure it to the top of the eye so it didn't kind of fall over the center. But I really like how it came out. Added some cheekies. So she's extra cute. So here is the Ghost Kitty for day 2 of the 5 days of free patterns. Next day was one pattern that I thought this was so fun and creative. This is the witch hat pattern from Faith's Cuddly Creations. She is also the maker of the pumpkin paws, which I showed and so many people loved in my 10 free Instagram patterns video. So she came out with this little witch. Oops, my phone battery is dying. I film on my phone, by the way, because I don't want to learn how to film and edit completely differently on a camera and the computer. Side note. Anyway, okay, here is Faith's witch's hat, and is this not fun? Her pattern does not have the face, but I couldn't help it. I had to add the face. All right, we have a friend. I made it a little ways into the video. All right, so this pattern, I have changed a few things on it. I used a larger hook to do the hat portion than I did the legs and boots. So I used a 6.5mm hook to do the legs and boots. To make the legs, you have to work into back loops inside these little booties. Oh my goodness, that was so hard. It was so hard for me to connect my hook in there. I almost just said screw it and I was going to just sew them on, but I finally got them in there. But I worked the boots and the legs with a 6.5mm hook. I also think I have one stitch short, like I did mine 6 around instead of 7. And then I worked the hat with an 8mm hook just to make it a little bit bigger in proportion to the legs and feet. But this is so cute, and it can sit right on the end of a shelf. Like he just sits on the shelf, which I think is so cute. So that was day 3 of our pattern giveaway, again by Faith's Cuddly Creations. My friend left. I don't know how many takes it's going to take me to get through this video segment. Oh no, I need to tote my thing so you can see my little ghost kitty. There we go. Okay. The 4th pattern was by Avery Crochets, A-V-A-R-Y Crochets. And I challenged myself to make something else in worsted weight yarn because I wanted it to be the size on a keychain or that you could hang in your car. I think the original pattern is with the size 6 yarn, but I just made mine with worsted weight. It's this little ghosty on a hanger. So he is worked in rows and then you crochet the rows together. The only edit I made on this was that I slip stitched around to connect the two instead of single crocheting. When you single crochet, it kind of creates this ridge around the outside, and I just wanted mine to just be like a smoother outline. So I went ahead and just slip stitched the 2 sides together. And yeah, my daughter really likes him. This is just a very quick and easy embroidery for the eyes and the mouth. And I went ahead and embroidered on one side before I did the second side so that all my ends were easily hidden in there and I didn't have to do it after I was done. So this little guy, I'll probably sell him for 3 to 5 at my market. So I have him, oh, by the way, these I believe I'm going to sell for 10 to 12. And then this little witchy hat and ghost kitty will be for 15 a piece, I believe. Where can I hang you? Will you be seen over here, mister? There we go. Okay, day 5, I already gave you a little glimpse last video at the very end of my video, and it's this little guy. It's Candy the Corn Mouse by Who's Your Granny Creations. Leah made the cutest little pattern. I think this will go quickly. I'm also going to sell him for $15. You do have to do some sewing on this one, so you make the ears and the hat first, construct the body from bottom to top, and then you sew on the hat and then sew on the ears. So there is a little bit of sewing and a little bit of like small pieces, but nothing like totally overwhelming. I think the only change I made to the pattern was making the bobble stitches pink to match his pink nose and pink inner ears. Other than that, I think I kept it the same. Oh, and I tacked the tail up in the back. That wasn't necessary. I just did that because, you want to know why I did that, is because when I was all finished, the tail looks slightly off-centered. So I tacked it up to more of the center. See how he's kind of off to the side? It's kind of like when you're doing your nails and you smudge your nail polish, so then you just add glitter because you don't have the patience, if you're like me, to wipe all the nail polish off and do it again, because you'll probably just smudge it again. Anyway, these are the 5 free patterns on Instagram that you can go check out yourself. I just saved another free Instagram pattern for this little raccoon that I hope I can get around to making, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. As far as other things I'm going to have on my table, the little ghosty I showed last week. And then my next Halloween pattern is one that I am pattern testing for Quack House Crochet. I thought I was going to burp, but it amounted to nothing. Okay, so Quack House Crochet, who I've recently found on YouTube. She is from Arizona, but originally, I believe, from Guam, which is really cool. By the way, the coolest thing about the crochet community is how you get to work with people like from everywhere, all walks of life, language, culture. There's just so many different people from all over the world that you can share crochet with, which is the coolest part of doing crochet. Oops, I just showed my pattern test, so I guess I'll show it for real now. So this is a little Tootsie Roll. How cute is this? How cute would it be to have like take one Halloween candy in like a little dish or a little glass jar, which is what Tasha, who I forget her tag, I'll put it down here. She has a YouTube channel that I've watched many of her videos. I am pattern testing with her, which is so fun. But she is putting her little candies in a candy dish for her markets, which I think is adorable. But especially with Halloween coming up, you could put these, like, take one candy and put them for, like, I think I'll have him for maybe 12 because of his size. But her pattern has a little, well, it has multiple things, okay? So it has a big Toots and a mini Toots. I'm in the middle of the big Toots right now. Oh, I have it right here. Big Toots is significantly bigger than little Toots. So I think I have a few more rounds left of brown before I switch back to the white. But so this is going to be quite a bit larger. So the pattern comes with the big Toots and the mini Toots, and then it also comes with a big double bubble gum. So it has a double bubble one for that and the minis, and then she has instructions like if you wanted to do the fruit flavored Tootsie Rolls as well. So but I'm just doing the Tootsie Roll patterns. So in the middle of this, hopefully we'll be able to show you this in this video if I get it finished tonight. But yes, this will be coming and available again from Quack House Crochet. Okay, I have another pattern test to show you. So again, when I was talking about working with people from all over the world, I believe this pattern by Mevsan, M-E-V-V-S-A-N. Is it Mevsan Crochets or just Mevsan? Guys, I always forget people's tags. I'll put her tag down here. She put out this pattern test for the Gloomy Shroom, and it was the cutest thing ever. And I was like, oh, it'll be perfect for this littler bin that I have. I used to have my Mikey pattern from Puny Human Crafts in here, but I took my Mikey to the bookstore, so this is empty. And I was like, oh, this little mushroom fit perfect in here. Mushrooms are so woodland and fall. And I got chosen for the pattern test. I opened the pattern test and realized that it was made with worsted weight yarn. So my friends, this is not a small pattern. This is not a pattern that can fit in there. I was thinking it would be like I was thinking the pattern was gonna be like this size. I'm not done with this, by the way. Here is Gloomy Shroom. You guys, I love this so much, even though this is so much bigger than what I was thinking it was gonna be. Like, look at it next to my head. He's like couch throw pillow size, okay? I love him. I'm not done with him. So I still need to crochet and sew on. He has these big poofy arms and feet. I still have to crochet and sew on the polka dots on his little mushroom top. But this guy is awesome. This took me over half a skein of yarn just to do the head. This is Bernat Crimson. And I am working through a skein of almond as well. So I'm working on this. I love it so much. I cannot wait to have him on my table. I just feel like he's gonna bring people into the booth. I feel like I'm gonna have to price him at $100, if not more, just because of the amount of yarn and the size of him. But if he doesn't sell, that's fine, because he'll just be my little table decor buddy, because he is awesome. So more on that to come. Okay, do I have anything else for right now to show you? I do. I have one more pattern. I have a pattern that I bought and made. Let me go find it because I gave it to my 2-year-old because I need to redo the pattern. Do we look a little different? Well, this one's new, but I look different from the last clip because it's the next day. William lost the pattern that I'm about to show you yesterday, but it was gone. But he resurfaced with it today, so I can actually show it to you. So I was mentioning in the last clip yesterday that I had made one more new pattern to me, and that is from the Oak and Marlow Fable Collection, Wilder Fox. I bought a pattern bundle. Here he is. So I bought the pattern bundle that included Wilder Fox, the bear and the fawn or the deer. I have not made the fawn or the deer yet. I've only made Wilder, and this is how he turned out. Let me start with the things I love before okay? So what I love about this is the body shape and the size. This is like, if I imagine a picture of a little kid with their favorite like lovey stuffed animal that they take with them everywhere, and they're just like walking around holding it by a leg, like that is what I think of with these. They're little floppy arms and long floppity legs and floppity tail. Little hand can easily fit around the limbs. If you are looking to like make a baby gift, these patterns. Let me get to what I didn't like about this pattern. So I feel like for the size that it is, this took me forever to make. And it was also my first time making the pattern, but I feel like something this size, I can only sell this for probably like $25 max, and this took me a long time to do. I was annoyed because it tells you to sew on the tail when you easily could have just added to crochet it in this round that it goes in. The same for the arms. Easily could have made this to just crochet in the round. Also, the ears. I have not figured out how to weave in ends on a flat piece without the ends showing. So you make the ear separately and then sew it on, and then you make this little ear tip, and then you're supposed to weave in the ends. Well, this is flat. It's not worked in the round and folded in half. It's worked in rows. And so when you go to hide your yarn tails, you have these black fleckings all through the ear where you're weaving them in. I don't know what the secret is to weaving in the black without it showing in the orange. And then it just looks like tattered, and I hated it. So I clipped off, and now there's just these weird knots in the back, which is why I'm giving this to William and not selling it. So when I make this again, because I am going to make it again, and I want to make the bear and the fawn as well, I am going to surface crochet the ears and not add the black tips. I will be making more of these, but right now I'm annoyed because this took me so long to do. And I can't sell it anyway, but William loves it. Okay. What were you going to say? Oh, Rosie's going to show you my update on Big Toots from Quack House Crochet. I am not done. However, I have gotten the main portion of the body and the eyes embroidered on here. I really like how these embroidered eyes turned out. I added the irises to them. I did not film how I did this because it's on dark brown and you can't see the black like super clearly against the dark brown. However, I did film an embroidery eye tutorial for this video that is a little bit slower and talks through the process more than just my little short with the voiceover. So I'm going to insert that now. All right, you guys, here we go. I've tried to start and film this. I don't even know how many times, but here we are. I'm going to try to show you how I do my embroidered eyes with more explanation than my little shorts video, which is very sped up. So I've already done the right eye, and now we're going to do the hard part, which is trying to make a symmetrical left side. Okay, so I've already inserted my black yarn. I am 6 stitches to the left of my first eye, and I like to work my eyes over a 2-row height. And so the big thing with making embroidered eyes is making sure your exit point and entry point are the same each time you go in. So if your eyes look wonky, it's probably because you have come out or gone in a stitch that wasn't exactly where you started. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go up 2 rows from where I started to make my baseline for this. This is just 1 vertical line. And I'm gonna try to make sure that I get this on camera. It's so hard to, I'm doing this on my phone, and so this is kind of hard. But here's my first vertical line. Now I'm just going to be working back and forth from right to left 4 more times to create that pupil. So again, I'm going in and out through the same entry points this whole time. And I use my opposite finger to kind of guide the yarn so that it lays down where I want it to, or else that yarn is just going to be wonky. So I'm pulling fairly tight, not so tight that it like changes the shape, but fairly tight. Again, I'm alternating here. I've done right, left. I'm going back on the right side. And then my final stitch of the pupil, do you call these stitches pass for the pupil, is going to be now on the left side. And then this part, I'm going to go down 1 stitch and over 1 stitch to create this little eyelash or eyelid. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's a little detail. I think it adds a lot though. So I'm going on my left side, I'm going in, but I'm exiting out down and over 1. And again, making sure that that yarn piece comes on the left side, and hopefully that is about the same size as the first eye. And then I'm just going to leave that here, okay? We're going to come back to that last, but here we go. Here's my left pupil. Now I'm going to come in with my white yarn. Again, I'm going to come in that same spot I've been working from, right here, same spot. I'm going to come out with my needle, okay, and now I have my white worked in. If you want to add an iris color, you can do that now, but for these, I typically don't. It's the same deal though. You're working from bottom to top, and you're gonna guide it on the outside for the eye whites or the iris. So we're going to go on the outside of the eye. This is the tricky part. Okay, we're gonna come in here, and normally we'd be working down here, but for the eye highlight, we're gonna come out the middle. Okay, so you're gonna kind of, I anchor down the bottom of my pupil with my other thumb, and then I'm gonna push my yarn through here. Don't freak out if it splits the eye a little bit. Sometimes this will like split the yarn, but if you pull tight, it should close that split. So you can kind of see it's wanting to pull apart there, but I tighten this so you have the eye white, and then I'm going to come up. Do you see how the yarn's splitting? Sometimes that happens when you pull the yarn through. Don't freak out. You're gonna pull this up here to make the eye light, and then you're gonna come through that entry point, and then come out where you're gonna tie off the yarn. And then we're gonna pull this tight. And again, if this looks different from your other eye, you can always stick your little darning needle under here and pull these out if you want them to show more. But I'm gonna leave that for right now. And then I'm gonna come back with my tail that I've left here, and we are going to make the eyelash or eyelid, whatever this is. I'm gonna come up through that same top entry point and out through where I inserted my yarn. Okay, and this is going to create that little, and again, I position where I want it to go with my thumb, and that's gonna create that little eye light. Now, or the little, what you call it, eyelid. All right, so then I'm kind of looking here and see how the white is sticking out more on this side than on this side. So I'm gonna tuck this down just a little bit, and I'm gonna pull this a little bit tighter and kind of position this so that it looks the same on both sides. See, and that white here on this side looks taller. So I'm gonna kind of push it down. But there you have it. There's how I do my eyeballs, and they're never gonna be perfectly symmetrical, but you can kind of mess with your thumbs and with your needle until you get them kind of as close as possible to being symmetrical. Okay, there you have it. That's how I do my embroidered eyes.
That's right.
Okay, we're back.
In a weird angle.
Well, here, scoot over. Okay, so I actually have 2 tutorials.
Just hold it.
Here, let's see. Oh no, this is gonna totally slide everywhere. I actually have 2 tutorials for this video. My camera's gonna hate me. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to upload this because it's gonna be over 30 minutes, and my phone hates uploading videos more than 30 minutes, but here we are. So I actually got a request from Leslie Georgie. I hope I'm saying your name right. For my last video to show how I add the heads on my Mabel chickens. So I'm going to try to film that. I will say I'm not showing how to make a Mabel chicken. So if you want to know how to make the Mabel chicken body, you're going to have to go buy the Oak and Marlow pattern. It was like my first pattern I ever bought, and it's been my best seller ever, and I'm obsessed with the Mabel chickens. I love making them. So go buy her pattern if you haven't already. Okay, so I've just finished my body for the Mabel chicken. I'm on the very last round, the very last stitch. This is my stitch marker. I use just scrap pieces of cloth to mark the beginning and end of my round. And so what I'm going to do is count 9 stitches over from the beginning of the next round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'm going to crochet into the 10th stitch. So I'm going to find that stitch, and I'm just going to connect my yarn here, and I'm going to pull through to connect and turn my work, and now I have sectioned off a new round, and this is going to be my head right here. Okay, so this is going to remain unworked, and we're going to sew it up just like we do on the normal Mabel chicken at the end. So right now I have left 9 stitches unworked, and now I am going to work in my new round of 9. I'm going to move my stitch marker over here now because I'm going to start a new round. I did not make a full single crochet here, so I'm going to go back into that same place where I just closed it off and make a new single crochet. Okay, I'm going to work into that 10th stitch again and make a single crochet now. So I have 1. I hope I'm on the screen. I'm trying to like watch where I am on the screen and look at my work at the same time. So now I'm going to crochet around 9. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
So I've made it back to the beginning of my round. My head is forming, and I'm going to go around again for another row of 9. So here we go. If it leaves a little gap here where we're closing off, that's okay because you're going to sew it closed later, so it's not a big deal if you have a little bit of a gap. So again, 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right, now we're going to start to decrease. So for this next row, I'm going to do single crochet, decrease around till the end, and then I'm going to fasten off my yarn. Okay, so I'm going to mark the beginning of my new round, and we're just going to go
1, decrease. So that's my second stitch, here's my third stitch, decrease for 4, 5, and then decrease again to make a total of 6 stitches. I keep wanting to grab that little stitch marker. Okay.
Now I am going to slip stitch and fasten off. Do you guys say finish off or fasten off? Fast, goodness gracious. Okay, and I'm going to leave it a little bit of a tail because we are going to do a little bit of sewing, nothing crazy when that happens. Okay. So now I'm done with my stitch marker. I'm going to thread this and sew close the top of the head. And I'm going to then feed the darning needle through the center of the head back down to the body. So let's close this. And then on my last stitch, I like to come through and make a knot to secure that. Okay, now I'm going to come right back through here. So just find a spot at the top of the head and move it down here into the body. And then we are going to stuff this guy. So I like to really make sure that I have a lot of stuffing up in the head so it's nice and firm. Now, starting right here at this base, I'm just going to start whip stitching this body closed. So again, you just go like you sew up the body normally. Just whip stitching through the top here. You can add any last stuffing that you want. I like mine to be extra firm and chub. And then on the last little area, I go ahead and make a knot. And then tuck that tail back through. And there you have a Mabel chicken with a head. You can just add the eyes and the comb and the beak and you're done. Okay guys, that is going to be all for the video today. That was kind of a lot for one video. I am going to sit here and watch K-pop Demon Hunters with Rosie. How many times do you think we've watched this movie, Rosie?
Over 20.
And what movie are we having a jammy party and watching with your two little friends for your birthday on Saturday?
K-pop Demon Hunter? For my birthday. My birthday's in 5 days.
No, your birthday is in
4
days. Yeah, 4 days now. So anyway, we hope you guys enjoy this. My next video is going to be a market vlog and recap. Finally. And it's supposed to rain and we're in a tiny town. So will I make any sales? Hopefully. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go make some Patrick Mahomeses because that's really what I have left and work on this little zombie. I might make another one or two of these. I need to add the wings. I need to put wings on him. If you guys want a tutorial on how I make my little bees, it doesn't have to be a zombie. It can just be a regular bee. Let me know. Since I'm so great at filming tutorials. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, you guys, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Happy honeymoon!
Do you guys know what that movie is?
Guys want a snacky? Peanut butter crust.
Oh.
They're seriously toddlers.